Good morning, Wednesday, the 12th day of August, 2020. I'm Vincent J. Russo with the Russo Law Group. This pandemic is wearing. It's getting really old, and a lot of us are getting very stressed out. So I thought I'd ask Nancy Amer-Lake, a clinical social worker, to give us some coping strategies on how we can get through this in the most positive way. Welcome, Nancy Amer-Lake. I'm so happy to have you on my show this morning.
Thank you. Glad to be
How
here.
you doing?
Doing good, thanks.
How's your stress level?
Oh, I would say it's, we'll say moderate. Sometimes it spikes up a bit.
Okay, so we're all human, right? But you have an experience dealing with mental health issues, and so many people are stressed out these days due to the pandemic. So what do you say to these people, and how do we deal with it?
Well, I think one of the most important things is to help people to feel more comfortable identifying and expressing their feelings. We need to help them to talk about how they're feeling. And now we need to help them to talk about their feelings, not to experience them alone, since so many of the feelings are uncomfortable. I think it's very important that we can validate the feelings and help to normalize the feelings.
Yeah, so how does one open up that conversation with a friend or a loved one that they're concerned about?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's important also that we do use ourselves, that if we are also experiencing uncomfortable feelings, that it's okay to share those with, whether it be, a friend or a loved one, especially if we're noticing that they are struggling. So it's opening up that conversation, letting them know that we could relate, on a personal level. Mm-hmm.
Sure, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems like this pandemic isn't going to be going away very soon, and I'm sensing, at least I'm feeling this, that the stress level is getting to me a little bit after being homebound for so many months, and just like a big umbrella over one's head. So what kind of things can people be doing to cope with this?
Well, I think these, of course, are not things that, I've developed. Of course, I've pulled this together from, many
Nancy, you're the expert.
many things we've read and we've shared with our colleagues. So again, it's what I said to begin with is really to start to feel comfortable identifying and expressing the feelings. That really is the first step. That is very important. But I would also say that we know common sense-wise, things like exercise, of course, has tremendous value. And if we're fortunate enough, to be able-bodied, that we can do that, whether it's, moving around within our own homes, more so in the beginning of the pandemic for sure. Now that, we can go outside a bit, take walks outside. Everybody has a different comfort level, but the value of exercise is very important. I would also say knowing when to unplug. We're watching the news and the media, and we need to know what we can tolerate. And when we unplug, to do it, of course, in a healthy way.
Yeah, spending too much time watching the news can really get depressing very quickly.
Yes, and there have been, a lot of very disturbing images, especially more so in the beginning. Of course, there still are now for different reasons, but yes, I do think it's important to know when to unplug. We also know many people were practicing yoga even well before the pandemic. Certainly meditation. There are a lot of free apps that we know we can use. Also, people are enjoying their pets. Some people
Yes.
actually went out and got pets during this time.
A lot of adoptions.
There's a big movement, of course, with mindfulness and having gratitude. We also need to learn, what we can control. We can control ourselves, so we can stay safe. We can control what we want to do. I wouldn't use the term neglect, but many of us, for no reasons of our own, did not, go to medical appointments. Maybe we're playing catch up right now if we're comfortable doing so. So I do think there's a lot that we can do to control ourselves and recognize what we can control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In prior discussions, you've also mentioned to me how music can be very helpful, and one's faith.
Yes, faith, and I think having hope, that's also very important. And yes, I think that music soothes the soul.
Yeah, beautiful. These are great coping strategies. It's kind of like how to live your life in a positive, healthy way. But now with the pandemic, it becomes so important that we do these things. So I really appreciate your list of strategies, and thank you once again.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I think those suggestions that Nancy had are so good. They're so practical, and hopefully you'll embrace some of her ideas on how you can cope during this pandemic. I've got a feeling that we're all going to be okay. Everyone, have a great day.